3, 2.
And by the way, we're here again. This is what we call Foreclosure Ammunition. But before you fire out the ammunition, you need to know a few things. And this particular one is about one thing. What the hell is a mortgage promissory note? What is a promissory note? What is a mortgage? And I know that 65 million people signed these mortgage instruments, and many of them were attorneys, many of them were real estate brokers, many of them were real estate agents, many of them were just firemen, police officers. And typically the way it went down was somebody would hand you a stack of papers, 2 inches thick, and you signed it because you just wanted to get a house. And you signed, well, I'll pay so much a month. Unless you had an adjustable rate mortgage. And then you signed, well, it'll go up next year, the year after, the year after. But that's not the point here. What did you sign is the point here. You signed a promissory note, a mortgage promissory note. What's that? It's basically a promissory note. The same promissory note that the corporations send out when you buy stocks. The same kind of promissory note that a municipality would send out when you buy bonds. The same kind of promissory note that is sent out when you buy anything. It's a promissory note. Now, what makes your mortgage promissory note different than these others? Well, let's go with this way. A stock's promissory note is backed by your stock certificate that you hold. And, you know, if your stock goes up, you make money. If it goes down, you make money. A municipal bond has an interest rate. And as long as that municipality hasn't filed bankruptcy, as we just did in San Bernardino, by the way, last month, where I'm from, then your promissory note is valid, unless it goes to bankruptcy. Well, now you signed a mortgage promissory note. All of these various types, and I could name really about another 100 types of promissory notes, you know, that are equivalent to like the corporate and equivalent to the municipal bond. I mean, another example would be if you were a limited partnership. You see a lot of that now, LLC. Well, they're giving you a unit dividend certificate in lieu of a stock certificate, because they're not a stock corporation anymore, they're an LLC. So you would receive typically an unit dividend certificate. Now, how do I know that? It's because I actually created that back in 1978, the limited partnership. Look up California Civil Code 203B. You'll see my name all over it, 1978. I never had any idea it would be abused to this point. And that was in the headquarters of fraud in the United States of America, Irvine, California. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this up here for you to take a look at. I don't know if you can see it. I just want you to maybe see it. So you know I'm not kidding you. But all this is defined under the Uniform Commercial Code. That's a commercial code across the entire United States. Whether it's a stock, whether it's a bond, whether it's a unit dividend certificate, whether it's any negotiable instrument that was created in this United States for trading to anyone in the United States. And I'm going to ask you to refer specifically to UCC code 3-104, negotiable instrument. And in the United States Code, it defines what a negotiable instrument is. And if you look at it, and I know most people don't have time to look at this, I took the time 35 years ago. A negotiable instrument is every instrument ever created that defines a debt obligation. They call it a negotiable instrument. So once you signed your mortgage promissory note, it became, across the whole United States of America, and of course the world now, a negotiable instrument. What's that mean? That means it's a person that's holding that negotiable instrument, that promissory note, that document that you signed, that they could buy it and sell it across the world. Did you know that? At the time, you probably thought you were dealing with Wells Fargo Bank. You were probably thinking, I'm dealing, with this mortgage company or this buddy of mine, or, how that goes. Okay? But isn't it amazing to find that you signed a negotiable instrument? Let me show you another negotiable instrument. I would like any one of you that have the time right now to pull in your pocket and pull out, if you have one left, a dollar bill, or a 5, or a 10, or a 20. For all you hot shots out there, probably got their 50s and 100s, But for the average guy, reach in your pocket. I'm reaching in mine right now. I got a 1 left. But anyway, let me pull it up and show it to you. And you see it. There it is. Okay. Trying to make it real clear for you. You notice I marked a few things on there. And I hope you can look at them. I marked it. See it? Now what did I put on that dollar bill? It's a negotiable instrument. Just like a stock, just like a bond, just like a unit dividend certificate, and on and on and on. But this one happens to be a negotiable instrument that was negotiated between the Treasury of the United States and a private corporation called the Federal Reserve Board. I'm going to tell you something that you didn't know. You look at the next 7 items that I'm going to show you on this negotiable instrument, and there will be no difference on the 7 items on your mortgage. Now, what are those items? I'm going to show you those items. I'm going to try to show you better than that. But I'm going to read them to you now. An example of a valid note under the Uniform Commercial Code on your dollar has to identify the type of instrument in the document. Well, here it clearly says it's a Federal Reserve note. So we've got that instrument. Federal Reserve note. The second part of this is a document identification number. Well, look at your note. And you're going to see on this one, that would be the green letters on a $1 bill. That's your document identification number, much like your loan number. The third thing is to identify the parties to the note. And I'm going to swing this by you again. You're going to have to look it up yourself. But I see here, it's the Secretary of the Treasury that made the promise. And the Secretary of the, let me look again. Federal Reserve. Now, on every contract, every negotiable instrument, the fourth item is to identify the amount of the note. You know, dollars, what currency, and it simply says straight on this note. Look at it again. That's $1 right there. And they ask you, what currency? Well, look at it again. Did I get that right? Well, you guys will have to get it. United States currency. Number 5 is to identify the authorized creator of the note. And that's where you're going to have to go back and look at the signatures on there. I'm looking at it again. Creator of the note appears to be the United States Treasury Department. The borrower being the Federal Reserve Board, which is also right there. Okay? Read your paper dollar. You don't have to look at mine. Then, you know, number 6 is to identify the signature of the authorized creator of the note. Well, that's why they signed this. But it looks like it's a photocopy. What's more important is number 7, identify the jurisdiction of the court. Well, this one, apparently, it says clearly, is in Washington, D.C. The one I'm looking at. Now, remember, there are Federal Reserve banks across the whole country. So you'll notice that there are some from Denver, and there are some from San Francisco, and there are some from the Bank of New York, and there are some from the Bank of Georgia. Did anybody ever wonder what that's all about? They're all members of the Federal Reserve Board out of New York. This dollar doesn't say New York. It says Washington, D.C. on it. Wait a minute. Take another look. Cut.